It's great to be here today at Trust 23. As you all heard in Josh's keynote, you need a solid data strategy to innovate, compete, and grow in this tough macroeconomic environment. And a great data strategy starts with ensuring your data has accuracy, consistency, and the proper context. You need data integrity. Unfortunately, what I hear from customers I talk to every day really aligns with the challenges reported in Drexel research. It resonates that 76% of data practitioners are trying to improve their data-driven decision-making, and more than half don't truly trust their data. While resource constraints present the #1 challenge to building the data strategy customers need. Your teams are building complex, hybrid, multi-cloud environments, moving critical data workloads to the cloud, and wrestling with data quality challenges. And you're all trying to do more with less. That's why Precisely's vision is to make data integrity in the world of modern data stacks easy, so you can do more with less. Now, this journey from complex to simple is something you've seen before. Do you remember how hard it used to be to get infrastructure? It would literally take months to get the hardware you needed and install that in your environment. And then AWS came along and made it easy to get infrastructure in minutes. Just swipe your credit card and you had the infrastructure in the cloud. It was easy. Then your challenge became setting up data warehouses or pipelines in your environment. And you again were confronted by complex projects that took months to give you access to the data when you needed it. And hopefully you never had to move it. Fortunately, two companies, Databricks and Snowflake, used the same concept that made AWS successful to give you access to data in minutes. Again, it was easy. But you still have challenges. Most of you have data on multiple data clouds and in VPCs, and your data clouds have the same data integrity challenges you've always had, but amplified. Users can't find the data they need. They can't get it in a timely fashion. The data isn't in a usable format. People don't really understand it. And bottom line, you just can't trust it. And that's why my team at Precisely is focused on helping you trust your data. We have a unique and innovative vision for data integrity that supports new use cases in modern data stacks. And you can build data integrity in minutes. Let me share the 6 key tenets of our vision and how it is different from what you've experienced before. I'll start with changing dynamic around data ownership. In the past, business and IT had friction over who had access to data and when. So Precisely's first tenet for data integrity is that business and IT must partner in the management of their data and its integrity. Your business and IT teams need a simple, seamless data integrity solution that enables you to collaborate on making data accessible, ensuring its quality and enriching it with third-party context and more. Second, we know that in the past, you've struggled to get speedy access to data for operational and analytical use cases. Slow, batch, brittle, ETL processes left users waiting to get data they need, and they never got it in time for impact. We believe that data should be delivered when business users need it, in real time, and where they need it, whether that's in the cloud or any other environment. The third tenet of our vision addresses the challenges you face managing data in multi-cloud environments with data management tools that require the data to be where the tool runs, which means you've had to make multiple copies of your data to manage it. One for data governance, one for data quality, another for master data management, and on and on. Precisely believes data integrity processes must run wherever your data is, on-prem, in Snowflake, in Databricks, anywhere. No more copies. And along these same lines, our fourth tenet addresses the challenges you face getting your arms around complex, rapidly expanding data. It's been a struggle to have a holistic understanding of where your data comes from, how it's used, and which data is most critical to your business. But our vision is to ensure that business and IT users share a single scalable metadata catalog, so everyone understands that both business and technical context around your data. And you also told us that your team spent too much time searching for the root cause of data issues and creating and managing rules for things like data quality, data enrichment, and data governance. Time you'd rather spend on critical business priorities. Precisely's vision is that data integrity processes must be automated with AI and large language models. Processes like identifying data issues, creating recommendations for data quality rules, and managing those rules over time, saving you hours, maybe days of productivity. And finally, the sixth tenet of our vision is that heavy data management platforms that require you to buy more services that you need or are complex to deploy and maintain are not what you need or anyone else wants today. Precisely's vision is to let you choose just the data integrity services you need, when you need them, and have those capabilities interoperate seamlessly. Interoperability needs to extend beyond the services in the data integrity suite. It needs to include interoperability with your current investments too, which Emily will talk about in just a few minutes. We believe in a truly open ecosystem for our customers. These 6 tenets, all designed with the challenges our customers face in mind, encapsulate Precisely's vision for a new way to manage data integrity in modern data stacks. It's the vision that guided the introduction of Data Integrity Suite at Trust 22 just a year ago. And that vision, along with many customer conversations, has steered the massive expansion of suite services and capabilities that I'm so excited to announce today, including a new data quality service that cleans, standardizes, and verifies data where it is with a business-friendly interface. Anyone can build data quality pipelines in minutes. Easy access to address validation, geocoding, and data enrichment, both in the suite's data quality pipeline as well as cloud-native APIs. New data observability alerts on things like schema drift and data freshness, along with consolidated insights and control over these alerts. A unified data catalog of business and technical metadata that connects all the suite services and provides easy searchability, and support for hundreds of new connectors for data integration, including applications, BI tools, and many popular cloud platforms. The launch of these exciting capabilities will enable new use cases for our customers, and the pace of new features will only accelerate. To tell you more, I am thrilled to introduce Emily Washington, our SVP of Product Management for the Data Integrity Suite, to share more about how the Precisely team is bringing our vision for modern data integrity to the market and show you its latest features. Emily, over to you.
Great, thanks, Anjan. So as Anjan just discussed the challenges organizations like you are sharing with us as you evolve your data ecosystems into new cloud and hybrid environments, and you've heard our vision of the future of data integrity. Now, I want to transition to how we've delivered on this vision and how we're solving challenges we know you may still be struggling with. This is why we've introduced the Data Integrity Suite last year, and we're rolling out major new capabilities here at Trust 23. We want to ensure you can leverage the deep domain expertise in the products you know from us while delivering on the vision Anjan walked through. We have decades of experience bringing the best-in-class data integration, data quality, data governance, location intelligence, and data enrichment to you. And the Data Integrity Suite allows you to tap into those capabilities easier, faster, and with the scalability needed for your hybrid cloud environment. To do that, we've introduced a number of new exciting capabilities that are available today. First, to accelerate our vision of enabling business and IT collaboration and sharing data insights, we brought data governance as a SaaS service into the Precisely Data Integrity Suite. This gives users greater visibility into the most critical data assets across your enterprise. Data integration is another key aspect of data integrity, and it's a top priority for our customers who need to build highly performant, scalable, streaming data pipelines with an easy, modern user experience. So we've delivered on a data integration service that allows you to replicate data from your trusted sources, such as mainframe, IBM, Oracle, to modern technologies like Kafka, Snowflake, and Databricks. And today, we are so excited to have announced hundreds of connectors of additional sources to support your diverse landscape. Our vision is also grounded in bringing data integrity processes to the data and not the other way around. And the Data Integrity Suite delivers on that in several areas. For example, many of you are working with our Data Observability service, which allows you to proactively monitor data trends, flag most frequently accessed data, and alert on potential problems in your data before it impacts downstream systems. To complement data observability, we've reimagined data quality to be more intelligently driven by incorporating the best-of-breed capabilities from Trillium, Spectrum, and Data 360. You can now fix and enrich data through a modern and guided user experience with lightweight deployment services. And our best-in-class address verification and geocoding can be applied within your data quality design experience or directly through modern flexible API options, allowing you to enhance address data directly in your environment. It's also really important that all these things connect for your users. Anjan mentioned how critical a shared catalog of business and technical metadata is, so you have a more holistic understanding of your data and your data products. And that's why we've integrated Data Integrity Suite services with a common data catalog. The catalog is an integral part of the suite that enables users to have a more unified experience and connect insights from across the suite and your environment. Another key element of our vision is the use of artificial intelligence to automate data integrity processes. Through the ability to leverage shared metadata, profiles, user behavior, and more, we're bringing intelligent recommendations to the forefront of your data integrity processes to provide even more value. And while these services can run on their own to solve data problems, their value is exponentially multiplied when they interoperate within the suite, within the broader Precisely portfolio, and with other solutions in your data ecosystem, enabling you to use capabilities you need when you need them. Now I'm about to ask Cam Ogden, VP of Product Management for the Data Integrity Suite, to join me to demonstrate how these use cases are providing integrated value. So let's get to the demo, where we'll focus on 3 key use cases we're speaking with so many of you about. Let's take a fictitious company, ABC Global, that needs to be more proactive in understanding customer account changes and finding new business opportunities. The data team has been tasked with building fast, high-quality data pipelines that sales and marketing can use for reporting, analytics, and self-service. In order to solve this problem, there are a few steps that are needed. First, the team needs to build data pipelines and raise data literacy so business users know where to find the data. Then, they need to cleanse and enrich to ensure the data is usable. And finally, they need to make sure the data is governed and monitored for future changes. First, let's start with the ability to build data pipelines and raise data literacy. Cam, let's show the team how ABC Global's data engineer quickly builds a data pipeline between 2 different sources, while simultaneously cataloging the data for easy discovery and comprehension by business users.
All right, thanks, Emily. So I'm logged into the Data Integrity Suite, and my first step is to get my customer information into a common place where my analytics team can access it. But before we do that, we need to make sure that we're connected to our data sources within ABC Global. And so I'm going to use our connections panel here within the suite. And the great thing about this connections page is that it has a single place to manage all connections across all services within the Data Integrity Suite. And adding a connection is really easy. We have over 100 scheduled data replication connections that I can browse and search for over here. And I also see existing connections that I've set up before in the past. The great thing about these connections is that I can also use this opportunity to catalog the data as it exists within these sources. And so data users and different business stakeholders that might not have access directly to the data sources, I can catalog this data, and then that data gets propagated and is available within the Suite's data catalog. But now that I have my connections established within the sources here at ABC Global, I can build my data pipeline to get the customer information that we have into a common place. And here I have an option to use mainframe replication if I have mainframe sources, or use continuous replication for streaming use cases, or schedule replication, which is what I'll choose here if I'm interested more in setting up a schedule on when I want to replicate this data between a source and a target. And setting up these pipelines is really easy. All I need to do is give it a name, And as I go to the next page, I can choose from the source connection in the target that was already set up as a part of the connections page that we saw earlier. And then on my last page here, I can see the schema, tables, and columns that are available within the source. And so this lets me know exactly what I'm going to replicate. In this case, this is a customer table with some column entries here within our SQL environment. As I go to finish this pipeline, this is going to auto-catalog the data that will be available in our data catalog. So by clicking on the catalog, as a business user or really any stakeholder here at ABC Global, I can search for this information and get a whole host of metadata that has been automatically identified and curated as a part of the suite's cataloging process. I'm also presented with a sample quality view over here to the right that starts to let me know what's the trustworthiness and the health and the efficacy of this data so that I can begin to work with it from here. Back over to you, Emily.
Great, thanks, Cam. So let me recap that. You just saw the ability to see connections to critical data sources like SQL and Snowflake. Cam built and scheduled a pipeline, and during that process, he automatically harvested the metadata, which is now visible in the integrated catalog that all data consumers can search and discover. Now, the team at ABC Global needs to clean and enrich this data so it can be trusted for reporting and analytics. Cam, let's show them how we do that.
All right, so from here, I'm given a sample of the data set in Snowflake. And the key here is that this data didn't have to get moved out of Snowflake. We're just taking a sample that gives us more information about what the data looks like and what's the effort that we might need to go through to clean up the data set. So as I select on the columns, I can also get additional profile characteristics around the data sample, the distribution, and other statistics about the data set. The suite also uses artificial intelligence to group the columns into entities. So in this case, I see that I have a location entity. And if I scroll down the data set, I also see that I have a couple of columns that have been grouped around contact details. Now that I understand more about the data set, I might have a question about, well, where do I start? How do I clean up this data? Well, this is where the suite really makes it easy in being able to provide transformation suggestions to apply different data quality operators to clean up the data set. In this case, it's recommending a standardization operator to clean up the country field, or I can use a verify and geocoding operator, which allows me to verify the addresses, but also geocode them as well. And the transformation preview allows me to see what this operator will do before I execute the rule. This gives me a window into the original data as it exists within Snowflake, but I can also see what this transformation will do if I apply the operator. And so this allows me to see around the corner and look ahead and see what the addresses would be changed into. But I can also see additional geocoding information over here to the right, such as latitude and longitude information, and also different geocoding levels. The last thing that this transformation preview does is that it assigns these addresses to a precisely ID, which is a unique key that I can apply additional data enrichment attributes to in my next step. So this looks pretty good. I'm going to apply this operator. And now that operator is placed here at the top of my pipeline. So now that my addresses have been verified and geocoded, let's make sure that we can provide our data analytics team and our business users with some additional business context. And this is what our data enrichment operator will do. This is integrated in with the data quality service in the suite. And using the precisely ID, we can append different data enrichment attributes to this data set that ABC Global doesn't have today. We can use different precisely attributes such as property and risk information to add to this data set, which will give our users enhanced data context and richness. So those are just a couple of ways on how we can apply operators to clean up the data without having to move it out of Snowflake. And once that pipeline is in a place where I'm comfortable with and I'm ready to go, I can run this pipeline by deploying it back into the Snowflake environment. And as this pipeline gets run and deployed within Snowflake, that new data set will be cataloged in the suite's data catalog for my data consumers and business users to use for their use cases and their reporting purposes.
That's awesome, Cam. Thank you. So let's recap that. You saw how a data engineer was able to view sample data and extensive profile details to trigger a data quality pipeline. In an interactive designer, you were able to see how easy it was to get suggestions to parse, validate, and geocode addresses. Through the unique Precisely ID, we were able to enrich original data sets to enhance with business context. Now let's see how easy it is to ensure the data stays clean and secured.
All right, great. Thanks, Emily. So my data pipeline has been built and I've cleansed and enriched the data, but now I need to make sure that it stays clean. And so to do that, I can use the suite's data observability service to monitor any unexpected changes in the data. And I'm going to access that by clicking right here within the catalog over to data observability. And here within data observability, I can see my customer cleanse table that was created out of my data quality pipeline. And as I select this table, I can apply different data observability metrics, such as looking at the freshness of the data, any skews in the volume, any drifts in the data, or the schema itself. And the configuration option allows me to use different artificial intelligence parameters here, where I can be notified of confidence-based alerts. So if the data drops into a yellow or red territory, it will look for patterns and anomalies and will send me a notification. Or I can use threshold-based alerts where I can set the value myself. So as I set up this observer, I can also choose to run it on a schedule, whether I want to run it daily or weekly at a given time. And I can also choose other team members that might need to be notified of the changes of the data. So if my entire data ops team wants to see how this information is changing, or downstream business users or data analytics users that are using this data set. So I'm going to save this observer. And what the observer does is it then allows us to see different alerts on the data as it changes. So we can see within this table that we have a critical alert here for a change in volume. We have a drop off in the amount of the volume over a day. And so this is helpful in being able to give our data and analytics team a look ahead into how the reporting might be off, or perhaps give a notification to our governance team that this information has changed in some way and there might be a business disruption that will occur as a result of it. So now that we're monitoring this information, let's make sure that we're applying the right governance parameters to make sure that we have ownership and accountability to take care of the data going forward. All right, so we can use the suite's data governance service to set the right governance parameters, such as making sure that we have a right data owner assigned, a data steward, and that this information is certified and ready for use. And our diagrams also give us great visualizations to understand more information about this data, such as where this information flows within the environment, how it's used in different business processes, so we can understand how it impacts our operational teams. And lastly, our business impact diagram that gives us a picture into the relationships of what business objectives, processes, and metrics this information drives. And this all helps us make better governance decisions so that we can provide incremental value to the ABC Global team. Back to you, Emily.
Thanks so much, Cam. That was great. Cam showed how easy it is to observe the data for changes in freshness, volume, and drift. He was able to set governance parameters to make sure that the data is owned and certified. And you saw how he was able to connect the data to ABC Global Analytics and top-level business objectives, so everyone at ABC Global knows how the data drives the business. And even more compelling, these three scenarios work together to provide end-to-end value. So now ABC Global can confidently work with customer account data and analyze data with accuracy and accountability. And as I mentioned, these three use cases are ones we're regularly speaking with so many of you about. And all of the capabilities being released align to the aspects of the data integrity vision Anjan covered, including business and IT collaboration, streaming data pipelines, running data processes where the data is, with a shared catalog and AI-driven intelligence, and all within a flexible, modular, and interoperable suite of services. And this interoperability is of the utmost importance as we look at extending value for those of you using existing Precisely products. For example, if you're using one of our data quality products like Trillium, Spectrum, or Data 360, we have proven ways to integrate the metadata and profiles to add data governance management or extend to observability. Or if you're using our existing data integration products, we've introduced new ways to replicate data to more modern sources in an easier way. So whether you've been using Precisely for years or you're brand new, there are a number of ways to leverage the Data Integrity Suite to improve the trustworthiness of your data. And with that, I'd like to turn it back over to Anjan.
Thank you, Emily and Cam. That was a great demo of the suite's latest features and how they solve real data challenges and business issues. As Emily mentioned, we're focused on supporting customers throughout their data integrity journey. And I know hearing from customers is more exciting than hearing from me. So I'd like to introduce Dan Doyle, the head of investment data management for Future Fund, based in Melbourne, Australia. Dan's going to share the data integrity challenges Future Fund has faced and how he's partnered with Precisely to execute a strategy for a new data marketplace. And of course, we'll hear more about Dan's plans for further enhancing Future Fund's data architecture. So welcome to Trust 23, Dan. I'm going to turn the mic over to you.
Thank you, Anjan. As introduced, my name is Daniel Doyle and I work for the Future Fund Management Agency. For those that don't know what we do, the Future Fund is Australia's sovereign wealth fund, and it's our purpose to invest for the benefit of future generations of Australia. At the Future Fund, my job is to look after the newly created investment data management business unit, and our purpose is very simple. It's to provide high quality, timely, and fit for purpose data to enable investment decision making. So as Anjan mentioned, there are two different topics I wanted to cover today. Firstly is how we think about data integrity for our critical processes. And secondly, how we are looking to use the data governance tooling, the integrity suite, to support the marketplace concept. So data integrity, it's absolutely central to everything we do. It means ensuring that the investment risk we calculate is based on the most accurate and complete data. It means that the information we analyze about the tens of thousands of companies we invest in is always accurate and complete. It means that the performance we calculate about our investments is based on 100% accurate data. And this is really where strong data governance comes into play. So one of the many ways we ensure our data integrity is to implement a significant number of data quality controls, but not just in our own environment, but throughout the entire flow of data from all of our different sources and vendors. We then perform our own stakeholder-specific data quality controls, and we profile the data, and we also reconcile the data between our different platforms and analytics tools and fund managers and service providers, etc. So the challenge here is, or in fact the challenge was, we've got all this rich data quality and reconciliation information, metadata, but how can we combine that all together, show us how well the data is certified, provide that trust and assurance and that integrity in the data to everyone at the agency. And this is where we use the Precisely DQ Plus tool and very importantly, their managed services to support a number of different functions and capabilities. The first capability is reconciliations. Us and Precisely have built our industrial and hardened reconciliations using the tool. In fact, the take-up for new reconciliations has been quite amazing. The second capability is the data quality metadata aggregation. So this is where we take the different certification outputs from various sources and we aggregate them together in the tool to provide a cross-vendor, cross-platform certification view of the data. And then finally, the third and fourth capabilities are tailored operational and management dashboards that we've built. The idea is that every team in the agency will have their own curated dashboard, so they can come into work in the morning and just know everything is good to go. So look, overall, we take an incredibly serious view of understanding and processing data quality and data integrity. Looking forward, there are also some quite exciting opportunities when it comes to data integrity. So we now have enough data to start running some ML and AI, and that coupled with the data lineage and data observability capabilities throughout the tooling should mean that we can start identifying potential issues that could impact our critical processes even before they occur, which is fascinating. The second topic is how we can use data governance to support our internal data marketplace. If we think about what a data marketplace is, it's what data set is available, what's the content of the data, what do the fields mean, what does it look like, how can I get access to it, etc. To bring this to life, as an example, in the investment industry, imagine you are looking for an ESG or climate data set. which you're going to ultimately use to understand what your investments look like from an ESG lens. You search for the marketplace, you search in the marketplace for the ESG data, you find the right source or the right vendor, you then get access to the data. So what you'll get is a list of companies and their ESG or climate information. What you won't get is the data matched to your actual investments at the same time. So standalone, the ESG data set has utility, but in the context of your portfolio of investments, the ESG data has real value. So over the next 2 months, we're rolling out our internal data marketplace, which also includes this matched contextualized layer, all supported through the Precisely Integrity Suite. In the tooling, we have built the business glossaries, the report libraries, the API libraries, the information model, etc. All of this is a drive towards greater self-service, and the adoption's been really positive, all supported through the tooling. Like the data integrity topic, however, this only works when there is a really strong data governance framework supported through strong data governance tooling. So that's all from me. I hope you enjoy the rest of the event, and back to you, Anjan.
Thanks, Dan. What a great story. I'm excited to continue partnering with you on data integrity as you advance Future Fund's data strategy. Thank you again. So now you've all heard Precisely's vision of data integrity for a modern data stack, a vision built with the challenges of our customers in mind. You've seen our new data quality service, new data observability alerts, new support for hundreds of data integration connectors, easy access to geo-addressing and data enrichment, and the integration of these powerful suite services through a unified data catalog. As I shared earlier, there's much more to come in 2023. So what's your next step? At the end of the keynote today, and again tomorrow, you can dig deeper in breakout sessions. You can go learn more about data integrity solutions you've heard about and saw in Cam's demo. I hope you'll take the opportunity to attend a breakout or two and learn more about how Precisely can partner with you to solve your data challenges. And I really encourage you to request a custom data integrity suite demo or a free trial. We can deliver that to you very, very quickly, or just reach out for a conversation. Whether you're building a modern data stack, or you're connecting to existing on-prem systems, or you're moving data from complex mainframes to new cloud platforms, we want to talk to you about how Precisely can help. Even if you're just beginning to define your data strategy, we're here to partner with you as you take your first steps. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of Trust 23.